Oh, hi. It's time we got moving on. This week, we celebrated Australia Day, and Aussies go back to as near normal as possible. Our favourite TV shows again are starting up. Schools are getting ready to start. Families are home from the holidays. This is our annual pattern. We disappear until Australia Day, and then we start to come back. I'm really thrilled that Dylan Alcott is the Australian of the Year. This is this incredibly determined, wonderful man, tennis player, gold medalist in a wheelchair. He has never been able to walk in his whole life. It shows that as a society we're moving on and accepting disabilities. I'm going to tell you a personal story. As a very small child, I had rickets, which meant that I have never had a normal bone density. I've always done my best to ignore this, but yeah, and it hasn't always worked. I wore calipers to my waist until I was 5, and one of my most vivid memories is of a group of older kids walking past our house, seeing me in the garden, stopping and yelling out things about iron legs. Mum told me to go inside and never let people see me. We have no photos of me during those years. She never came to my sports days to see me valiantly completing every single race, totally last. But she went to all my brother's sports days. That was a long, long time ago. I've broken many bones since then, but it's taken such a long time. It's taken my lifetime to move on, to overcome that mindset of shame and feel comfortable in public using my walker. Dylan and the people who selected him as Australian of the Year has shown that it is not shameful to be disabled. Well done. Well done, our whole society. Well done, Dylan, but well done, our whole society, for moving on. Hopefully it will show all the other people who've been ashamed of and hidden their disabilities as much as possible to move on, to live a full life. And bugger the disability. Just get on with life. Now, that out of the way, we're moving on from the summer break and the last 2 years. This year is following a more normal pattern than the previous 2 years, with our borders opening and we're accepting life with the virus. Most people have chosen to be vaccinated to reduce their risk of severe illness. I'm happy to have had all 3 jabs, even though I had a severe and prolonged reaction to the booster. For me, vaccination is simply a risk management matter. I'm in a high-risk age group, so protection makes sense to me, especially as I do not want to hide and limit my life. I'm not sure I agree with compulsion. Hey, that's just a personal feeling. I think I've always been slightly rebellious. My family would laugh at that and agree. My clinic is now open in my airy palm-filled garden room out the front of my place. It's so well ventilated, it's wonderful. Most appointments will be in the mornings when it's cooler. If you're only available in the afternoon, please make the appointments on Zoom unless it's a cool day. Yes, the horrid masks are needed. Yes, I ask you to pop sanitizer on your hands. Yeah, these are just sensible things, and then we can get on and do our best to ignore all this silly virus. Please make sure you postpone or come on Zoom if you have respiratory symptoms. I believe we will need to live with this virus for years now, and it's time to work out how we move on with our lives, because it's very unhealthy to become isolated from human companionship. Our unconscious minds control how we have coped with the changes of the last 2 years. The big thing is to stop and look at the fear that's being generated by politicians, health departments, and especially the sensation-loving press. It is time to move on, to assess your risks of catching the virus and the risk of severity, then dump the fear. Choose the life you want. If your fear is too great, please get in touch, because I can help. This is what I'm really good at doing. It's not shameful to be suffering from anxiety after 2 years of pandemic or any other time in your life. I'm also giving you a heads up that I'm working on a new program called Memories, Mindset and Moving On. It will be a self-help membership program that's fundamental to overcoming stress and anxiety, so that we learn how to understand how our early lives and our ongoing memories affect our mindset, how we can move on despite what might have happened in the past. So love to see you. If you've got a problem, love to see you anyway. Bye.